Opposites attract. All the reasons as to why we fell in love now seem to be the same reasons as to why we're giving up. They say opposites attract. They do. But what they don't tell you is when opposites attract and positives and negatives react. They don't tell you how they latch, then detach, then collapse. They don't tell you that you have fewer chances that ever last, and that when it does end, the results are fatal. You slowly burn and you crash. And the daily predicted forecast is it's always rainy with a cloudy overcast. I used to love that you were so self-motivated, excelled, successful, goal-oriented, that you always spoke your mind. But now I hate that all you do is express negative thoughts. That keeping it real means no real regard for my feelings. That you have a to-do list for everything but me. Receiving a compliment is pulling teeth. You don't have time for us. You don't make time for us. You used to love my free spirit. You loved my addiction to simple pleasures, and you loved that my art was my passion. But now you want to take that same spirit and enslave it into an agenda. You want to always be so tired that you can't even fulfill me. And have you done anything productive today? Sarcastically, you're always asking. See, I'm starting to feel like us breaking bread is a battle, and us having sex is a hassle, and us being happy is a raffle. Higher percentages in us losing than we ever are in winning. And I just keep asking God to take us back to the beginning, because there's a cavity in my heart and there's emptiness in my soul, and you used to be the filling. I thought that you could complete me, and maybe you could. Maybe you would, but there's a big part of you that you won't share with me. So I'm in constant search to find what I'll always be missing. When I'd lose myself, you'd always find me. Excitement in just spending time with me, but now I just frustrate you and make you unhappy, and you're always saying that you're sick and tired. Why are you always mad at me? I'm sick and tired. Do you think I always want to be mad, and when I'm not mad, then I'm sad? You think I compare you to others. I don't. I just compare you to the man you were when we first met, the man that I used to have, the man that every day I wish I still had. I really don't believe that my expectations are that high when they are found on no other basis than the standards that you set for yourself. But you say I'm not the same, that I've changed, that I'm always nagging and complaining. But I'm always nagging and complaining about the same thing, that we're stuck in this rut and you have no plans on ever changing. Because when it's left up to you, just let nature take its course. So you avoid me. So you avoid the idea that we might yell and we might argue and we might scream until we're hoarse, but at least we'd be changing something. We'd be fighting for something. But by ignoring the situation, you just allow each and every thing for us to negatively be affected by every outside force. To the point that if we were married, this would surely be ended in divorce. But I always think too much, and you don't care enough. Of course. I'm just an afterthought. I'm just something that's often a oops, shoulder shrug. I forgot. See, I'm something that's rarely ever heard of and rarely even mentioned. Because if I do get what I want, if I bring it up, well then I'm thought of as requiring way too much attention. And I'm treated as if I'm merely just an acquaintance. Because if I'm treated how I ought to be treated, if I'm treated how I deserve, well, then I'm high maintenance. I'm starting to wonder, am I an option or am I a priority? God, how you used to adore me. Now you just get so bored with me. So I'm just trying to end this pain somehow, formally, cordially, whatever. Opposites attract, but they explode, and then they die out when they counteract. But they didn't tell us that. They didn't tell us that day by day, ounce by ounce, gram by gram, that this subtle heartbreak would have us so far gone. Broken records singing the same song, and we keep pointing fingers as to who's right and who's wrong, questioning how we made it this far along. Opposites attract. Yeah, they always told us that. And looking back, that's how it all started. Opposites attract. Over time adds up to opposition, subtracts that attraction, and we end up with opposites attracting being the sole reason why we departed. But they didn't tell us that.